Yo, what up, gang? So, Cardi B has won her civil lawsuit in which Imani Ellis was a security guard at a medical complex at the time that Cardi B went to visit for her cat, you know what I'm saying, in her own words. At the time when she was pregnant with her first child, she went to a medical building for a checkup. And this security guard commenced to harass her, bully her into a corner, scream at her, even took some swipes at her, injuring the receptionist, Tiara Malcolm, uh, that subsequently worked at the doctor's office that Cardi was there to visit. So, like I said, Cardi has won her lawsuit, and I guess during a brief intermission or break, she went outside, and a news reporter, I guess, asked Cardi if Offset, her ex-husband, or Stefan Diggs, her new boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, whatever he is to her at this point in time, if one of those two men got her pregnant, and she did not like that at all. She went over to another reporter, I guess, and picked up a pen or a marker and tried to throw it at the reporter. And I think it actually hit like some mics or whatever, so it never actually hit. I don't think it actually hit the reporter, but it just went to the ground and everything. And she was just lecturing him, saying, you don't talk this way to women. It's funny because as she's telling him that, she's waving her finger. She's waving her finger like this. And I just think it's funny because that's the exact same thing that Imani Ellis, the security guard, said in court that Cardi did to her, was waving her finger in her face like that. Which I guess she, in her words, or I guess, and from her memory, or I guess her story, is that Cardi waved her finger in her face like this on her nose, and I guess somehow scratched her with her nails on her face. So I did a video about this already, about how I thought Cardi was going to win this case, and pretty much everybody in the comment section had the same thought. Everybody was on the same time. Like, it was just BS from the beginning. Um, like, yeah, like that little incident at the end probably didn't help the perception. But I'm saying, like, during the trial, like, they actually had a psychiatrist or a psychologist that was hired by Cardi B and her team that actually interviewed Imani Ellis and said that she has no trauma. There was no evidence of PTSD. In fact, the test came back. It actually pointed to her trying to manipulate the test, or basically trying to put a 10 on everything to make it seem like she was experiencing these things. So that's what he testified to. The doctor that Cardi was there to see testified that, the security guard was the aggressor. He was just trying to get her to get off the floor and get back to her post. The receptionist, Tiara, testified to the same thing. They just broke it down. The defense attorneys just broke it down, just aspect by aspect, until they just made the plaintiff just look silly in my eyes, in my opinion, and to a lot of people's opinions. And that's why people called it like, yeah, she ain't winning this one. Cardi won this one. This is just BS. This was a money grab. And it's funny because Cardi actually said that during her testimony, that she thinks this is just for money. So Cardi also said that she basically gave a warning out there to people when she spoke to reporters after the fact, and she said that she's not going to pursue, or she's not going to countersue the plaintiff, Imani Ellis, in this case, but she warns other people to not basically play with her, because she said, you're not going to just sue me and think that I'm not gonna, fight it out, or that I'm just gonna settle. You know what I'm saying? And she did, like I said, she did say that she's not going to countersue. But it's interesting because she said that she wouldn't countersue, and she just wants her followers to leave Imani Ellis alone. Don't bully her, don't call her names, just move on, move past it. And then when Imani Ellis and her lawyer came out to talk to the press, their energy was completely different. Their energy was, they are definitely going to appeal the decision. They commenced to call Cardi names and said that basically she did everything they accused her of doing. Um, they just kind of trashed her, and I just feel like it was a bad taste, in my opinion. It seemed like Imani Ellis was using this as a launching point for her. She says she's now interested in becoming an attorney, so that's the dream that she's pursuing at this time now. And it was, I guess, reignited because of this case. So, more power to her. Stop trying to. I think she's trying. Let me just shut up. She lost. All right, just leave it alone. I wish she, would just leave it alone. I wish her nothing but the best. I wish nothing but the best for Cardi. This whole trial, like I said in my previous video, was kind of silly. It was like the silliest, dumbest, most interesting, entertaining trial that I've witnessed in a while. Um, Cardi was a character on the stand, I should say. And she was just being real. She was just being truthful, in her own words. She was just telling the truth, and that alone, when you are a truth teller and you're naturally a charismatic person, that just naturally emanates from your being whenever you're talking and whenever you're in front of a camera. So it was funny to watch. It was fun to watch. And like I said, you know, people should really think twice about, starting these frivolous lawsuits. And also, people need to watch their tempers. People need to understand that, look, celebrities are people too. We're all deserving of respect. At the same time, respect people, respect their jobs. I never look down on somebody because of the type of job that they do. I don't care if they're the manager of the building, the CEO, a worker inside, a janitor, a restaurant worker, or a transient sleeping on the corner. I'm still going to treat you all with the same amount of respect. Of course, I know the difference between them, but I'm still going to treat them with the same amount of respect as human beings deserve to be treated. So, with all that being said, love, peace, and light. Remember, love more than you hate. And until next time, catch you guys on the next one. All right, I'm out.